Hello and welcome to Monster Clash, the place where creatures come to die. Today we see a red dragon, sometimes referred to as flame dragons, fireworms, or mountain dragons. They are the largest and most powerful of the chromatic dragons, a breed of covetous, fearsome, and cruel creatures, interested only in their own well-being, vanity, and the extension of their treasure hoards, no matter whose it already is, as they are the most obsessive collectors and value material wealth more than anything else. They are supremely confident of their own abilities and were prone to making snap decisions without any forethought. They rarely stop to size up a foe or make a plan, usually just flying into their foes and blasting them with fire, then using their claws on whatever was left of them. Though they were not the most agile in flight, so they usually elect to land and fight on the ground when appropriate, where they show remarkable mobility and grasp of tactics. They are physically distinguished by their enormous size and wingspan, which are the widest of all dragons. A young one had a body length of around 10 feet long, for another 10 feet from body to tail, and could weigh around 1 ton. And of course they were easily recognizable by their scarlet and crimson scaled hides. They smell of smoke, sulfur, and pumice. Their bodies so warm that the air around them occasionally shimmered as in a heat mirage. It is a dragon of large size, armor class of 18 and 178 hit points, and a speed of 40 feet or 80 feet flying. It has a passive perception of 18, blind sight for up to 30 feet away from it, and dark vision for up to 120. It makes 3 attacks per turn, one with its bite, for 2d10 plus 6 piercing damage plus 1d6 fire damage, and 2 with its claws for 2d6 plus 6 slashing damage, both with a plus 10 to hit. And also a fire breath action for a cone of fire that deals 16d6 points of fire damage on a failed DC 17 dexterity save. And it has come for the treasure hoard of a cloud giant, a race of giants who prefers living high up in the mountains, inside a near-perpetual cloud layer, in palaces decorated with golden window frames and pearled tapestries. They determined their place within their society by the amount of wealth one possessed, and often demanded tribute from humanoid communities that lived in the slopes of their mountains, but would also help these communities when they were struck by drought, frost, or locusts. And legends such as magic beans and cottages carved from gourds are not unheard of, and would more often than not come to the aid of such communities when they were endangered by some humanoid foe. They stand 24 feet high and weigh about 5 tons. They have handsome and well-defined features, and their skin ranges from milky white to light sky blue, with silvery white hair and iridescent blue eyes. They never wear any armor, preferring enchanted clothing and magic items with some sort of protection magic when they came by those. The Cloud Giant is a giant kin of huge size, of armor class 14 wearing no armor, and 200 hit points and speed of 40 feet. They have a passive perception of 17, but no dark vision, and they have the innate ability to cast some spells, requiring no material components, with her more combat-oriented spells being Fly and Misty Step, and some evasion spells like Fog Cloud and Gaseous Form, but neither effective against a dragon. It makes 2 attacks per turn with a Morning Star, with a plus 12 to hit, for 3d8 plus 8 points of bludgeoning damage, or throw 1 rock per turn with a plus 12 to hit, and a 4d10 plus 8 bludgeoning damage, 8 being its strength modifier. But they don't carry sacks like other giants, and prefer melee combat to ranged attacks when dueling. The dragon has found this secluded castle with a cloud giant inside, protecting its treasure, and now attempts to break the door and kill the resident so it can claim the castle and the treasure hoard for itself. The dragon has a natural 1, the giant a natural 5. The giant casts the fly spell on herself, fearing she might need to move fast or pursue her foe into the skies. The dragon will try to break the door with its plus 6 strength modifier, but fails on an 11, the DC for breaking this door open standing at 20 at least. The giant will fly towards the direction of the door and will hold a Morning Star attack, perhaps moving closer, blocking the way for intruders. The dragon fails its strength check once more, with a 17 total. For her turn, she will continue to hold an attack against the intruder in her vault. And this time the dragon gets a 24, the iron doors giving in and opening as the giant on the other side attacks the red dragon with her morning star. But she misses on a natural one, and I'll say breaking the door was the dragon's action. So, to the giant's turn again, she will swing her morning star twice. And both attacks hit. For a total of 40 points of bludgeoning damage, the morning star hitting with the plates in the dragon's chest for massive impact. But the red dragon is strongest and most resilient of dragons, and will blast a cone of fire right into the cloud giant, never backing up from her strong hits. For 61 points of fire damage, she has to succeed on a 17 dexterity saving throw to take only half damage. But she fails on a 15, taking the full grunt of the fire, doing her best to shield her face from it, her garments and her hair blowing away in cinders. She loses her fly spell unless she gets a natural 20, so she'll just hit twice at the dragon, which isn't even flying. She misses the first, the dragon dodging right on time, but the next hit gets it right in the face, for 36 points of damage, some teeth splintering from the blow. The dragon is enraged and at half hit points already, and he does not recover his breath weapon attack. So he will bite once and claw twice at the giant. And only one claw will miss, but the other is a critical hit. Doing a total of 40 points of piercing, slashing, and fire damage as the dragon violently slashes and tears at the giant's skin, who screams in pain as her body is left full of open gashes and punctures, now at half hit points as well. And she'll desperately attack twice again, hoping to kill this fire-breathing dragon. But only one attack hits, for 23 points of bludgeoning damage, the morning star just not being able to cause mortal wounds in the dragon. Just little below half hit points, and the dragon rolls a 5 and recovers his breath weapon attack. And he tries to maneuver past the giant to maybe get a better position within the room. But the giant occupies the entire space, and he'd have to make an athletics or acrobatics check for that. Noticing he cannot get in, he'll just incinerate her body with a blast of fire breath. For 52 points of fire damage. And her skin is charred even more, now blackened in some places and reddish in others, blood seeping from her wounds. She will heroically defend her castle to her last, and will attack again. For 22 points of bludgeoning damage, the morning star hitting the wing as the dragon uses it to block the morning star. And the dragon rolls a 1 to recover its breath attack. And all attacks hit, the bite being a critical hit. For a total of 71 points of damage, 41 of that from the critical hit. As the dragon jumps at the giant's neck, it bites at it, taking her down and pinning her with her 2 claws, mortally wounding her when the sword-like claws sink deep into the giant's flesh. And the dragon then snaps her neck quickly, and the cloud giant is no more. But the dragon does not gorge on her flesh. He will instead rest and heal its wounds, so it can next go down to the villages the giant cared for and eat the tender flesh of humans. For red dragons crave only one type of meat, and that is the one of beautiful young human ladies. But the bones of the cloud giant will make a fine addition for this new red dragon's horde.